Riding back down an old dirt track, yeah, I've driven down a few. Somewhere between where I've been and where these wheels are going to. Well, you can take the road that's easy.
There are a heap of creek crossings on Fraser Island, and most of them are pretty straightforward. You usually find that the best place to cross them is close to the salt water where it's at its smoothest. But if you do find one that's caught you by surprise and there's a big drop off, what you can do is hit the brakes, lose as much momentum as possible, but before you take the plunge, let go of the brakes. That allows the suspension on the front of the full drive to reset itself, so you've got more suspension travel, so it'll absorb the blow a little bit better. A Wynyard Creek can fluctuate a fair bit in depth. So, like any water crossing, if you're not sure of the depth, it's best to walk it first. It's winter time at the moment, so I think I might get Don to do this water crossing. Do you mind checking the depth for me?
Mate, I'd like to, but I've done my boots up too tight. I can't undo the knots.
I mean, you can't see your boots. Alright, okay, looks like it's me. A Wynyard's got a couple of semi-decent holes in it at the moment. And this one is just about halfway up my leg, which doesn't look that deep, but on Don, that's about here.
That may be, but from where I stand, the only log in the river is you. Toby's walked that, so we know it's relatively safe. But one of the rules with water crossings is, particularly if it's flowing, if you can't walk it, you can't drive it. So just remember that.
The Wynyard Creek crossing is pretty straightforward. The water's very clear, and you haven't really got to worry about any real depth issues. Plus the sand's nice and firm. Something you need to consider in terrain like this is often the water will be quite weedy, and that can build up in front of your radiator. So an hour down the track your car will be overheating. That'll probably be the cause. Now something else you need to consider with a water crossing like this where you've got two sizable holes is not to attack that deep section too quickly, because what can happen is water can rush into your radiator section, and a lot of new vehicles will have their radiator fans very close to the radiator core. Another thing to consider is a snorkel. Now the Land Cruiser's got one fitted obviously, but a lot of vehicles don't have them fitted standard, and usually they'll be sucking the air from inside the guard or at the front of the engine bay, which is not ideal for water crossings. So that's something to be really aware of. Know where your air intake is, and if your air intake is down nice and low, you probably want to fit a bra just so you can push that water away from that vital area. And to check more TJM four-wheel driving tips, go to tjm.com.au.